Hey there, I'm Jeff Elkins, and this is the Dialogue Doctor Podcast. Today on the podcast, I have three incredible authors who just returned from the Author Nation podcast to tell us about their experience and what they learned. All right, we got three members of the community here today: Christine Daigle, Tom Hollbrook, and JP Rindfleisch the IX. They're all here to talk to us about Author Nation and what they learned and what their experience was like. I didn't get to go, and so I asked them to come on so I could live vicariously through them, so we can all live vicariously through their experience. Before we get to that, I just want to say, if you haven't already, come and join the community. We are a learning and supportive community that is going to help you write a book that will engage readers. You need to be a part of it. Come and join us. It's $5 a month. It supports this podcast and newsletter and all the other things we do. So please come and join. You can find us at patreon.com/Jeff Elkins or dialoguedoctor.com. Click on the community button in the menu. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. All three of the people on the pod today are part of the community. And so, come and join us. All right. That is it for me blabbering. Let's get into the conversation with Tom, Christine, and JP. Okay, hit record. And I am here. I'm going to introduce them one at a time. I'm here with the Christine Daigle, co-author of Heavy Are the Stones, or Heavy Stones? Heavy Are the Stones.
Heavy Are the Stones, you got it.
Heavy
right?
Are the Stones with J.D. Barker. Incredible author, neuropsychologist by day. I don't know. What else do we say about you, Christine?
Oh,
Chaos Gremlin by night.
Chaos Gremlin by night. Yeah, I suppose. Fair.
It's funny. And then JP Rindfleisch the IX from the Ninth Publishing, which I liked a lot recently in a thing you sent out. Author of cozy queer fantasies like Moss Sword Apothecary and we were just talking about it, Mandrake Manor and Nerds, which is in as cozy, but still very queer. And also a dialogue doctor coach. And then Tom Hollbrook is with us. Tom writes under multiple pseudonyms, and he does he's in a cozy mystery fix right now.
Nuclear physicist by day.
Also runs an editing
Lies.
agency where you can find Tom's amazing services. And I blackmailed all of you to be here because I didn't get to go to Author Nation because I am poor and have too many children. So I get to live vicariously through you, my friends. So thank you for coming to do this with me.
I will tell you, I bought my ticket a year ago when I thought I was going to be richer a year from then.
So how overall impressions, how was it? Actually, let's get some fun facts out first. Author Nation at Vegas, it goes 5 days?
Yeah. 4 days
Yes.
is Author Nation and 1 day is Reader Nation.
Okay. Did everybody stay for all events?
I got there
Yes.
halfway through Monday, but yes.
Okay. Nice.
Wait,
Nice.
vendor day.
Yes, Monday's vendor day.
Monday's vendor day. What is vendor day?
All
There
the
are
vendors. Yeah.
With all the
So-
swag.
I think they
and all
said there
the
was like
stuff.
70 vendors or 70 people who attended who are vendors. So like
Damn.
you can walk through and go through booths of like Book Funnel and like Tantor Media was there. There's some editors there, cover designers, like everything was there. And you can meet the people that work behind those businesses.
Nice.
Yeah. And so for printing, KDP was there, Ingram Spark, Book Vault was there, Lulu were all there.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of audio represented, including 11 Labs, and it was
Reedsy
cool.
was there. There were a lot of people there.
That's very cool. Did anybody get cool swag?
I got a cooling mask, and I got the sleep masks were the thing this year. I have one that says Audio Sorceress, so I like that. That's
Nice.
I got a lot of pens, and I got one circular multicolored sticker that was the book report logo.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool
And JP just
stickers.
held up his laptop with like 1,000 stickers on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So then after vendor day starts the actual like conference with
Mhm.
sessions and things. And then the last day is Reader Nation. Um, and there was like 1,200 authors there, I heard.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And
That's a
next year the cap is 1,400.
That is a crazy size conference.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that surprised me though, I would guess 25 to 30% of the people there had not yet published a book.
Wow.
I was in a cozy mystery panel that had maybe 60 people in the room. Were you in that one, JP?
No.
I always sat in the front because I can't see and I can't hear because I'm old. So I was never sure who was behind me in the room. But the moderator for that panel asked who had not yet published a book, and half of the people in there raised their hand, which shocked me. I ended up actually giving out a bunch of cards, not like hopefully not in a gross forward way, but there were a lot of meet and greet kind of introduce yourself things. And when I told people what I did, they'd be like, "Oh, I need that," because I help first time authors finally get their book done. So that was a sort of, I'm glad I brought cards because wasn't my intention. I went as an author, but happy to grab any work. But that's a lot of people who haven't published who are, I think it probably cost me $2,000 in all between the ticket, the plane ticket, and the hotel.
Yep.
So that's a lot of money to be putting up to when you haven't
Published.
haven't actually have proof of concept yet.
Not to mention the prices of food in Vegas. Holy cow.
CVS was the savior. I just went to CVS all the time.
Did I tell you what I did?
No, what did you do?
I brought cans of soup and power bars in my suitcase.
Genius. I had one carry-on and it was packed full, and that was all I had, so there was no place for food.
Yeah, I did check luggage this time and I had plenty of place. And I was sort of like shocked with 12 months later how I was not economically prepared to go to Vegas where everything was going to be overpriced. I did also go to the CVS and found the 3 liters of water for $4, which was great because the vending machine on my floor had water for $3, but if you tried to stop at a coffee shop or something in any of the casinos, it was like $8 for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
So
CVS
and then
your friend.
The sessions had bananas and oranges and coffee, so much coffee.
Pastry.
And so exactly, JP's shoving imaginary bananas in his pocket, but that's what I did. And I went to the Guy Fieri all-you-can-eat buffet on Friday after I checked out the reader fair, and I stayed there from 11 to 1:30, and I ate about 4 days worth of food. It was great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it was good. It was good food, but like we kept walking past that poster for steak, and if you looked at it in the restaurant, the steaks are like $140 for a steak.
That's crazy.
That's not even to mention like Vegas is not my idea of a good time. But the from the window at night, the sphere was amazing because like
Vegas
seeing the
looks
sphere light up
beautiful
was amazing.
at night.
And then somebody and then somebody in the Facebook group was like, "Hey, I can't use my tickets for the sphere, which is, a movie, the Wizard of Oz movie, but there's like real wind whipping around during, stuff like that. $350.
Holy smokes.
So there were shows there that I heard were great and all that sort of stuff. But mostly I just stuck to my room and got a ton of work done when I wasn't in the sessions.
Fun fact. There's no coffee maker in the rooms.
No coffee maker in the rooms.
Oh, that's wrong.
And a large coffee, if you just go to the place by the registration, a black large coffee is $8. And that large is not a large. So bring a coffee maker if you're going next year. That's my pro tip right there.
If you are cool with cold coffee, go to CVS and get
CVS.
the STOK coffee, the stock coffee. You can get the big like 1 liter for like $8, and then
Oh,
it lasts like 3 days.
There you
that's a
go.
good idea
Those
because
are pro tips.
on the
We're giving all
yeah,
the tips on how to save money
I
on
was about to
True.
say,
yeah,
you're
because
not
well, this
selling
is
the
important
conference
stuff.
well,
This is
guys.
important stuff. On the vendor day, on the first day, I bought a coffee for $9, because there wasn't any other coffee. But once the courses started, they had the coffee out in the morning and in the middle day of the day break, and I just had like 2-3 cups each
Yeah.
time.
And they
That
had
was fine.
snacks. They had chips and things out like that if you were there at the break, and water.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, yeah.
I think the reason we're bringing it up is like Vegas is expensive,
Vegas is
and
Yeah.
expensive.
it was sort of expensive to get there, but I think that if you're smart about it, there are plenty of ways to do things cheaply and then spend the money when you can indulge or when you want to go out to dinner with someone specific.
Mhm.
And that way you're not just, throwing $30 to $150 for a meal.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the other thing is find the cheap water because it's so dry. I drank
You can
800
Instacart
gallons
yourself.
of
Yeah.
people were
Instacarting
Instacarting like
cases of water
groceries
to themselves.
to, which is smart.
Yes,
But
right there.
even though I drank 800 gallons of water, I still got a sinus infection, which I'm still recovering from. But to give you an idea of the good side, like just picking a random day, Thursday at 9 a.m., there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things going on that you had to choose from.
Wow.
Yeah. And
So
any
they
given
had a
time, there were 9 talks.
very, very good app that you could see everything that was going every day, and you could highlight what you wanted to go to, and then it would put it into a schedule for you. So that was fantastic.
That's great.
And they were for all levels of writer, and they were everything from craft to business to mindset.
That's awesome. What did you find were the best breakouts you went to that you like walked away with stuff from? Not best like done, but like best for you. You could do best done too, but I didn't want to put that pressure. I didn't want you to like make your breakouts compete. List all the breakouts and let's fight. No, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
But what's the best? Like, what did you get the most out of?
Who wants to start?
Go ahead, Christine. I didn't see you at any.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
saw
Are you
you
going
at
to any
a
of the
couple. Yeah, I know. I think we all went to different things, and
Yeah,
that's part
which
of
is great.
the difficulty, right? Because I would go to some, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is a good reminder," but it's something I already know, and then you get like the FOMO and wish you picked something else. Um, Honestly, for me, I think it was the JP's making fun of me. It it was the James Patterson session for me, and why that session was the best is because he was just a regular person, and his answers were so down to earth. Like he got asked, "Why is there such a gap between his debut and Along Came the Spider?" There were numerous years, I forget how many, like lots.
Like
And he's
17.
17. He said, "I wrote a
Damn.
lot of crappy books." So it was just the stuff like that, right? He's just a regular person. When they started talking stats, he didn't care about stats. He's like, "I write because I love to write." And for me, that's just the reminder that he's at that level. And I'm just a person who loves to write books. So that was a good mindset for me. Um, he says, "Be there." He puts a "be there" post-it note when he's working on every project. And I put that in my Scrivener when I got back. Change the word manuscript to "be there." Just a
Hmm.
reminder to be in your work. So for me, that was the most valuable.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, there's very few like superstars of writing,
Yeah.
and he's definitely one of them. So that's really neat that that was your experience with him.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
And he did that talk while he was very ill, which was also amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that the closing thing, the whole circumstances around it, I felt like that was like such a good talk. Um,
You have to share
I
that
don't,
story now. You can't just drop that
right.
like
So
like everybody knows what you're talking about.
Tom went to the thing, so maybe I'll cut to him when I get to that part, if we're cool with me telling the story.
Yeah.
Um, So on Thursday, we have the big keynote speaker, James Patterson, supposed to be flying in from Florida. At I think around like 7 a.m., Joe Solari gets a text message. Patterson can't fly out today. He is sick and he had to go to the hospital, but he ended up being okay. And he was willing to do like a 30-minute Zoom call. So then Joe is left with this information at 7 something in the morning. And at 8:30, he needs to go to a thriller panel and moderate. So he doesn't have a lot of time to figure out what to do, but he knows that if we're having a 90-minute closing session and I can only have Patterson for 30 minutes, what am I going to do for the next hour? So that's sort of where his mindset is at. And he goes to this panel, he's moderating it, and then it leads up to the questions. Since I wasn't in the room, I'll leave Tom to tell the story.
Yeah, I was in the room for that, and you'd never know that Joe was like, he must have been freaked out because Patterson was also supposed to be at the signing the next day for people who had come to that event specifically for the signing. I'm not sure how he dealt with that, but anyway, this woman gets up in the question line, and her question is about the fact that she is co-writing with people in mystery series, and she feels bad because the readers keep reading her first solo series first, and she's trying to figure out strategies for introducing readers to new series because she doesn't want her co-writers to not prosper. It's a very, very nice question. And this the panel had Drew Strickland and Doug, can't remember his name, but he writes like Reacher like thrillers. People who they were all six-figure authors, four six-figure authors. And Joe's like, what pen name do you write under? And she says Mary Stone, and two of the people on the panel just went if you look up Mary Stone, she's got about 200 books. Her most popular book has 38,000 Amazon reviews. 38,000 Amazon reviews. And she was the most humble, interesting person. And so then, JP, if you want to tell the rest of the...
Yeah, so... And to add to that, I think I had heard like she was visibly like nervous to speak at the microphone. She was kind of shaking about it. And so she didn't seem like somebody who really was confident. So it was kind of a strange question to be like, oh, surprise, it's Mary Stone out of anybody. But I think that was when Joe was talking about his recollection of the day. He said, like, this is when I identified what I could do. And so he pulled Mary aside and asked, like, would you be willing to be on a panel because of the circumstances that had happened? And, it wouldn't just be her, it would be a couple other people so that, she could be comfortable. I think this was like her first potential speaking thing. It was her first conference she's ever been to. And she was sort of coerced into doing it. She wanted to fly under the radar and just sort of experience, but she's not really someone who's in the forefront. And so they had her come. She sat down on the couch with JD, and I don't remember the other guy's name.
It was A.G. Riddle, who
A.G. Riddle, yeah,
is one of the few indies who sells at bookstores.
Yeah,
perfect. And so it was the three of them, and I just found that conversation so fascinating because it really represented like at any level someone can feel sort of like either an imposter or like they don't have that worth to be at any status, to be speaking on the couch. And it was even reflected back in the crowd because I think like someone came up to talk and just said like, you being there and being so nervous but willing to sort of sit on this couch and take questions has inspired me to hit the publish button. So it was like felt around the room, and it was such a good like closing conversation to just show that like whatever fear you have, just do it. And I just felt that it was like a really cool talk.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Joe too. Yeah. So the Patterson thing, he ended up doing book plates. So everyone who had come to see him signed up to get a book plate. So Jim would send him the signature. Yeah. And next year, Joe is driving to Andy Weir's house to pick him up and drive him to the conference.
Yes. Yeah. Andy Weir is the
guest for next year.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
But for I was pleasantly surprised by the opening keynote, which was Drew. What was his
Davies.
last name? Hmm?
Drew Davies.
Drew
Mhm.
Davies. And in manner and such, he was sort of your very motivational, high energy guy, but his concept about using constraints and have needing constraints to foster creativity was um, well delivered and well backed up with really cool examples and super entertaining, and I think got everyone jazzed for the start. Then there were two from Becca Syme, and one was on sustaining an author career, which was all right. But her other one on marketing for introverts was phenomenal. And I think it was a misnomer. And if she had called it something else, even more people would have come. But it was a really um, sort of new and very actionable way to assess the 500 things that you can do to market a book that involved numbering them one 10 to 1 with most important to least important um, in like 5 different categories. And so it would be like, how important to this is this to the genre? How good are you at it? How much energy does it sap from you? That sort of thing. And then you could average those numbers to then reorder the marketing things in the order that you should do them. So, even if TikTok is number 10, if it's a number one in terms of what's working, if it's a number one in all your other categories, you're probably not going to be successful with it because you won't do a good job. So that was something that was really actionable. And then I went to uh, Joanna Penn did a little Patreon group. You were there, JP, right? And she had been on a panel with Mark Leslie Lefebvre and Johnny Truant, which was interesting because they're like famous indie people, but didn't fill me with lots of excitement or information. But hearing her informally talk, like sort of watching a mind at work of an entrepreneur who's at the top of this game and realizing what she's thinking about and why. Um, and I really I felt like I was a part of a group of people in a way that I didn't at a lot of the other things. I thought it felt like, and Joe Solari kept saying this, like, we're here to unlevel the playing field, right? We don't want it to be fair. We're looking for the advantages. We're looking for the things that we can do to push everybody here forward, and which is an interesting sentiment. But in that room with Joanna, I kind of felt like I was getting a little bit of that. Like, here's 100 people who are thinking about things at a level and in a direction that the average person at home working on their self-published novel is not thinking about. And so that felt like something that I was gaining by being there.
That's awesome. Any other big standout learnings for y'all?
I don't think JP said what his favorite was.
The last one I thought was great.
Okay.
Talk wise, like this will probably be like one of the questions later, but like I went to Author Nation with a question because I'd luckily been chatting with Sasha ahead of time and she made me do all these things. But I went with a question and it was pretty much answered with actionable steps within like the first day, but I still would never have had those like it would have taken months to figure all of those steps out. And it was just through conversation with people. So like I loved the talks, they were great, but for me it was really talking to specific people and asking them certain questions.
Can we ask what the question was?
I
You don't have to
so
tell us, but
no,
I'm
I'll
very
tell you.
curious.
Yeah, so like for me right now, TikTok Shop is doing great and amazing and happy joy, whatever. But I I need that form of revenue. This was very business oriented. I need that form
No,
of
that's
revenue
great.
to be dispersed elsewhere. I need TikTok to continue doing what it's doing, but I also need the direct sales to build up. And they're roughly like a 10 to 1 ratio, and I need it to be like a 10 to 10 ratio. Not even a 1 to 1. I'm talking 10 to 10. And so I needed to figure out what kind of things I needed to do to drive more people there that I knew some bits of, but it was more mechanic stuff. And I, talking through it with some people or hearing what some people were going to do sort of answered those questions.
Nice. That's awesome. Christine, any other big learnings for you?
I need to do better on social media. I guess that's not a learning. That was a reminder. I need to carve out like 10 minutes a day to do it, and I just haven't. So that's something that is a goal for me, I suppose. Yeah.
Nice.
And that was one of the nice things about back, and several people said some version of this, but part of Becca's Symes thing was if you hate social media, it's probably not going to work for you, and it's okay not to do it, but you better damn well have 8 other ideas that you're going full tilt on.
Yeah, and
it's not like, okay not to do it.
It's not that I don't like it. I mean, I'm on this all the time. I'm like, my face is literally on YouTube every week because I do the Writers Inc. podcast. So why can I not just put my face on social media for a minute a day? And I have no good answer for that. So I really need to be more accountable. And JP sends me lovely prompts. It's like, you should do this. And I go, yeah. And then I don't do it. So, some inward looking with that, I suppose.
That's awesome.
And Jeff, all of those excuse me. We're talking about the FOMO, but all of the presentations will be sent to us as videos in January.
Nice.
So even though because you couldn't go to 9 at the same time, so you literally can.
And they give you their PowerPoint slides. So you get the PowerPoint slides then, like with the talk, and then you can watch the talk again, which is
very cool.
Speaker will be in the chat. At some
January.
point. Yeah.
Right. It's sort of a mini live recap, meaning the speaker will be there to answer questions, which is
they call it the after party or something. So they have the slides, they do their talk again, and then you can get your questions answered by the speaker, which is very cool. So
nice.
I also, one of the things that I thought was really positive about all the big names being there was it was like the opposite of being starstruck because they were all so utterly normal.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's a break between sessions, and like there's Sean Platt shoving a croissant in his mouth, and people are coming up and he's chatting with them or whatever, but he's just waiting for the next session. And I hadn't been there 10 minutes when JP introduced me to Sasha Black. I was like, oh my God, it's Sasha Black. And she's just a normal person. Everyone is just a normal person, and it makes you think that, why not me, right? So.
And so many people were just kind with giving an answer, saying like, this is what I do. And, it may or may not work for you, but this is what I do. And I'm not really withholding that. It just, I don't know. I felt like the space was very much like, if you came there looking for certain answers, you'll probably get an answer, whether you like it or not. I felt like it was very open conference, which was nice.
That's awesome. Most people I talked to were very kind and generous with their talents and information and all of that. So
nice. Coolest person you met that you didn't expect to meet?
That is a tough one. The coolest person you met. There were so many cool people I met. Okay, here's a cool one for me. Sarah Harrion, this one is for you.
Oh, yes.
We started on Kindle Vella together in 2020. I never met her in real life. She was there with gorgeous sprayed edge books, and I got one. JP actually got one for me because I was stuck at a book table, and I'm like, can you please go buy one of her books for me? So it was really lovely to meet someone I've known for 5 years. We kind of came up the same way through serial fiction. Just to meet in the wild, I guess, sort of like that was super cool. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll actually echo that. It's the same person. I sort of knew that Sarah was
steal
coming.
Other people's answers.
But because listen here, I sort of knew that Sarah was coming, and the wild thing was, And I said this to someone there, like there are 1,200 authors here. It's guaranteed that at a minimum, I haven't even seen 40% of their faces.
Yeah.
Like that's how many people are there. If you think about it, like the likelihood of not even just like meeting someone in passing is so high. I hadn't seen Sarah all week, and she was there all week until Friday when I walked by her booth. And then
Same.
she was just like, "Wait, JP." And I was like, "Ah." And so like it was such like a fun moment because I was like, I knew you were coming here. I still never saw you in passing until that day. So it was such a great. And then yeah, with Christine, like she was someone that we had interviewed and talked to such a long time ago, and it was so fun because we did the serial fiction show on Briar Dark, and that was the Kickstarter book that had come out, and it's gorgeous. I'd actually gotten the book the day before I left for Vegas, so I would like had it in hand, and I was like, "This is so cool!" And then to see her again in person, it was just such a cool feeling.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Tom?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've sort of mentioned all the sort of
Oh, yeah.
well-known people that were there. Yeah, I'm not great at like pushing myself into a crowd of people. So I appreciated, even though they're sort of hokey, there was a Christine probably skipped it, but there was a get to know each other thing based on first on geographical region.
Yep.
And then they reorganized. And so they were tables of 10. So people just sat down and went around and introduced each other. And then after about 20 minutes, they reorganized it by genre. So that was nice. And I met some people that way. I met a really cool person the first day who had been on my list to meet, who was sort of like coordinating the New England groups. And they were also part of an independent editors organization, which I'm definitely going to look into being part of. So sort of a closer to the ground Reedsy, right? Because it's something about Reedsy, like they're all former like Big Six editors, and they're all so expensive, and they would laugh at me. But then I never saw that person the rest of the week. So but I do have their card, so I'm going to track them down. So there were a lot of editors there, which I didn't expect, and they weren't there in like a hunting for business kind of way. I think most editors are also writers, probably.
Yeah.
Look at these accusations that I skipped everything.
Did you skip that one?
I did skip that one.
I was going to ask, what were you doing while you're not going to the
I
conference?
knew you didn't go.
I was hanging out with people. Like that's my favorite. Like,
You went to the pool one day.
I did. I went to the pool.
Closed. You went to a closed pool.
No, it was open. I just didn't go in the pool. I just read by the pool.
Okay.
So people were swimming, just not me, because it needs to be incredibly hot for me to swim. Yeah, I went all kinds of places. It was fun.
That's very cool. Okay, best non Author Nation thing you did while you were in Vegas. And JP's not allowed to say the CVS because he's already earned a sponsorship.
Did
Okay,
I? CVS.
Yeah, I went over to the Bellagio, which is across the street from where we stayed. So cool. It smells like money, if you want to know. It really does.
Yeah,
I did actually kind of want to know. Yeah.
It's got
and
a
cigarettes.
glass flower installation in the concierge area. And then it has botanical gardens inside the frickin' hotel.
Wow.
And they do seasonal flower display. They change them every season. 10,000 cut flowers.
Dang.
And it was like mushrooms and owls and pumpkins. And I guess people come in every day to change out the ones that are wilting. And it was wild. I've never seen anything like that. It was really cool.
That's so cool.
And they have the Bellagio fountains.
We watched the fountains.
Show. So my family and I watched Ocean's 11 last night for like the 50th time. It's our favorite family movie, probably. That and Charlie's Angels. Don't ask me why. But we watched it again, and they were sort of
that's
they're like,
beautiful.
wait, you saw that? Wait, you saw that? Strange one for me. I'm from New England, and it was daylight savings the day we left, and so it was like a double whammy on the time change.
Mm.
And I woke up at 3 a.m. every morning and didn't
Same.
adjust, which is weird because I was in France in September and I adjusted like almost immediately. Um, but anyway, I worked from 3 to 8 a.m. every morning and I got so much stuff done. I love my family, but oh my gosh, I got so much stuff done being there by myself. I never turned the TV on. Um, I did client work and I worked on my cozy mystery, and it was the image of the kind of productivity that I dream of having, that I was able to actually experience for a week because there was nothing else in the way of it. And it sort of really energized me to trying to make that productivity a real thing without necessarily getting up at 3 in the morning like Robin does.
Yeah. I was the opposite of you. I couldn't get writing done and I just accepted it because like I felt like I was busy from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And like by the time I went to bed, it felt like my brain was defragmenting from the day. Like I was like I
Oh,
networked so hard that I was like,
yeah.
ah.
I fell asleep at
Um,
like 7:30 every night, and people were like
yeah,
going out, and I realized people were going out to dinner and networking, and I was like, no.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
No.
my thing was I have family that lives out in Vegas. So on Friday night, we went to Dia de los Muertos event out at the like Springs Preserve. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh,
They
cool.
had different like ofrendas or altars, and they were like made from the community. So some people it was like family members, for other people it was like more of a larger topic like climate or something like that. And then you got to vote on which ones were the best, and then they had people dancing, and it was like the coolest thing ever. And then we had ramen, and I was out until like 11 at night, and most nights I'd been going bed at 8, so I was like, I'm fine,
That
fine,
that
everything's fine.
sounds incredible.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really cool. I was 100% worth it, and like this is the family that I've been seen for a few months, but my parents are really close to them. And the fun story is that my great aunt, when she was like 18, went to I think it was either South America or Panama, and then she like met a guy, and through like a couple of years, she ended up moving there, living down there, and starting a whole family. And then they moved up into the States a few years later, decades later. So that's this side of the family.
That's
That's
awesome.
very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. I was on the 3 o'clock train too, but then I forced myself to go back to sleep until 7.
Nice.
But I was still like, you're just done at the end of the day. Your brain is, I think, because I'm introverted too, it's like my social battery is at 0. And I'm like, okay, no more people. I just need to go to bed early now. But it was a good time for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What was your biggest change challenge walking away for you personally? Like, what are you after because of Author Nation, you shall blank.
Do better with social media.
Okay, nice. Fair.
You want me to go?
JP? Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Mine are very like clear steps because I made sure like that I
Yeah,
had a list
you
of
went
things
with
I needed to do.
objectives.
And I did them. I'm doing most of them.
Nice.
So, like one of the things was during JD's talk, he was talking about somebody, I can't remember who. They had a complicated name, as do I, and they bought the web domain buymybooks.com. And I was like, you know, how many times do I have to say that my website is jprindfleisch.com and make everybody be like, how do I spell that? So I bought Ninth Books, spelled both ways, both the number and the letters. And then you can reach me at like jp at ninthbooks.com, the number. But
Can
it
I
just
say
made it
that JP bought it while we were sitting in
while
the
we were
room?
sitting there. I was just like,
He
oh, I
put his
bought it.
phone
Like,
over. Was like, I just bought this domain.
That makes so much sense. It
That's
was
awesome.
Ted. It was it was Ted Decker, whose name is Dekker, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody
TKR.
could ever find his website.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I know that this is a stopgap on why people don't go to my website because like they have to spell my name, and I'm not going to change my pen name because that's going to be a hassle. So why not just change the URL so that it can get redirected over? Um, Another thing I did was change my newsletter. So I was using SendFox, which is a really great newsletter platform if you're just looking to send out monthly newsletters. But if I'm trying to do direct sales, I need it to have more integration. So not only do I need to know who's bought what on my list, and so that I can, target specifically like what makes sense, but then I can integrate back to the website of like, here's some merch or here's, the book. And it's not just random links, but it's more integrated. So I went with, I think it's called Klaviyo. Um, and I've set that up already. I've sent out a newsletter using it. It's a pretty easy platform, but like those are the like very actionable steps. And then I have a pseudo Kickstarter that is on my website, which is why it's more like a crowdfunding thing that I'm going to be launching. It'll be going over a couple of months, but basically the idea is that anything bought on my site will help fund the artwork that will be going in the next project that releases. And so there's a funding bar, and then I'm gonna like show it off, and then also do a call to action on the people on the Kickstarter for Mosswood Apothecary, because they're the people getting this book for free without all the special artwork. And so I'm going to say, hey, guess what? I'm launching this, and you'll get the free version of this when it's done if you shout out about it. So now I have an army of people that ideally, at least some of them will start shouting about it because they're going to get free artwork for it.
That's
So
great.
that's sort of the direction I'm going.
Nice.
Yeah.
My children are huddling over here in a corner next to me. It's terrifying. Yeah,
Have
that's
you
awesome.
Did you
fed them
feed
yet?
them?
Yeah. I found them. They've eaten. We had tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. It was great.
Hungry.
Yeah.
All you've given us is boiled leather.
Tom, what about you?
Oh boy. I don't know. It's tough. There's I always feel like there's three or four buckets that I'm trying to get down to one bucket. And I think part of that just reminded me that there's no way to do that. So um I need to do client work to make money. Um I have had various times when I've set aside money to push marketing to try to push sales to a point where they were meaningful enough that I could keep working on that and not, and it's never worked. Um, in the process of doing those things, pushing one way or the other, for at one point, I was really into my autoresponder and getting new email signups and everything, which is great. But then 6 months later, I'm working on AMS ads, and I haven't sent out a email in a long time. So, I think it's paring things down to the ones that you can keep up with all the time, and then picking one or two things at a time to experiment with. But that's one bucket, and the other bucket is to write more books. Write more books. So I came back very sanguine about this book that I worked on for 2 years, and finished this summer and gave to my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, not your best."
Oh.
And so it needs a complete rewrite. But right now I'm working on this new series, and I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited to get to the keyboard. And it's just like, yeah, well, that can sit for a while. That can sit. And I think seeing these people who just keep writing, and if the series doesn't hit, they write another series. And if the series doesn't hit, they write another series. And the problem is when I move from one thing to another and don't quite finish everything, like I don't think like I would have to sit down and make a punch list, and it would be extensive. But like the sixth book in my Red Riley series is not in paper. I just never did it. And like, so, and you can say, well, no one's buying them anyway. But if you do write a series that hits, you want all of that stuff to be working. When people come, if they come, when they come, you want all the back stuff to be working. And I've left a bunch of it sort of lying around. So I've got a lot of getting my house in order to do.
Yeah.
But I came back jazz to write, but also had to, and jazz that I got a lot of client work done because that it makes it very hard to write when I'm like I should be editing. So
Yeah.
No,
um,
I liked what you said there about just writing, people talking to people about just writing the next book. I talked to a couple of screenwriters. They are tough people. Holy cow. One of them said you just have to know that you're going to write 10 projects and only one of them is going to sell. And I'm just like, that's a whole other mindset in a whole other world. So if you can be that tough, you just keep writing the next thing and something will sell. It's got to happen, right? I think this game is optimistic persistence is the whole
Illusion.
game. You got to persist, you got to keep going, you got to be tenacious, but you have to stay hopeful.
yeah. And one of the things
Yeah.
in JD's talk, but he was paraphrasing Stephen King, was that you don't really find your voice till you've done 500,000 to 1,000,000 words.
Yeah.
And I'm right about 500K, so that's encouraging.
Yeah, that's great.
Because the book I'm working on now is my 10th book, and they're all short. I mean, they're all 60,000 words, except one, which is 90,000 words, but that adds up.
Yeah.
So
I've got to
awesome.
be there. Just trying to add up. Yeah,
oh
I
my
think
gosh,
we're
with
all
the
there.
Vellas, you must be there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got there. I'd say that's true. I think it was around my 11th book that I figured out who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
I think at the end of the day, it was worth it to go. And like I was waffling for a little bit on if I would go next year, but I think I will. Because I already bought the ticket.
That's a pretty good determiner.
That was a
What?
pretty good determinator. But the reason being that like this year I went to understand how it functions, to understand like what people do there, because part of it is there are vendors there and those vendors could have opportunities. I've heard of a couple that have happened there. And I think that if I continue and try to keep pushing, I might be at a state where I could have those sorts of conversations next year. So it's sort of like a way to push me, is like if I go to this, maybe I have something more in mind with working with vendors for something.
Nice.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go again next year too. So it'll be my third year because I went last year as well for the inaugural
Yeah.
year. I just have fun. Like I really enjoy the community.
And it was
Yeah.
nice because the Writers Inc. crew was all there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure most of you all are going to go again. So
Yeah. That
it's a
was
good
super
fallback.
surreal. People had to stop us. They're like, "Oh, you're Writers Inc." Like, that happened like multiple times. And I'm like,
That's
"Yep."
awesome.
So that was very cool. Get
Yeah.
our 3.5 minutes of fame or whatever that was collectively. But yeah, that was very cool. Yeah, just seeing people that I don't get to see or that I only get to see online. And, it's just different in person. It was nice to see JP, who I haven't seen in person for like 3 years, something like that.
Ever.
Tom, who I haven't seen in person since May. I saw Tom in May. But yeah, it's just cool to get to hang out. So
That's very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would go back until I've had some sort of personal success that I feel ready to absorb things at a different success level, if that makes sense. I feel like I absorbed a lot of reminders of what I need to do, tools to do what I need to do, and a general kick in the ass to do what I need to do. But I could work for 5 years on those things. And I'm not sure what the point is of going back unless it's like, okay, I've moved forward on those things. I was at, my current level is everything I spend on advertising, I make the equal amount of sales. So I basically make zero money from writing, no matter how many or how few I sell. And I've been successful at selling a lot, but it hasn't made me any money. And, I've got So I was able to walk in there with 1,800 reviews on a book, which is more than a lot of people who were there, but it doesn't make me a success. And so I came away with some clear things of writing more books and organizing my marketing and cleaning up my back stuff. And if I had all that done by next year, I'd be like, okay, let's go find out what the next level is. But I don't think I probably will be. But so 2 or 3 years, maybe I'll go back. Or if I had some, I don't know. I keep looking at the vendor side of it. Although the people who were there as editors, some of them looked exactly like you picture Vanity Press people looking. No offense to anyone who's listening.
I don't know what that means, but I'm fascinated. Don't explain.
They
it.
look like they were going to sell you a used car.
Okay.
So, so I don't necessarily want to go in that. Although I'd love to go back if I got a speaking thing, which I tried to do for working with bookstores, but that wasn't really on their map this year, which was interesting because Johnny Truant's whole thing is like being in the world,
getting into bookstores. Yeah,
I wonder if that'll be next year.
Yeah, try again, Tom.
Although I mean, my recommendation is usually don't. But so maybe they wouldn't want me. Maybe I wouldn't be giving the right message. But
that would probably not be the message.
Yeah. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? But I did get a lot out of it. I'm glad I went, and I definitely recommend it to people. Although, man, I just freaking hate Vegas. Just like nothing about it. There wasn't a thing about it that I enjoyed.
You like the fountain?
Yeah, it was nice, but I saw that on Ocean's 11.
Singing the Ocean's 11 song while you're standing by.
Yeah. I took a picture from far enough back so it had the silhouettes just like at the end of the movie.
Nice.
It was great.
Yeah, see, you like Vegas. You just like that little piece of Vegas. Not the sinus infection you got.
But if they were like blasting David Holmes music all the time, I would like it better.
JP really liked the CBS.
Yeah, I love the CBS. Also, the really funny thing was to me, because I would go on walks at like 6 a.m. I found this really nice green space that had like trees. It was very private. There was like a little waterfall going on. Their music that was playing there was louder than the music on the sidewalks, which was already loud. And it was like loud rap. And I'm like, we are in a green space. I would like some peace. And instead it was like, get low. And I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to sit at this table.
That's hysterical. Oh. All right. Well, thanks y'all for doing this. Real quick, everybody tell anybody listening where they can find you.
ChristineDaigle.com. Mine is not as short as JP's. I'm gonna
too hard to spell, Christine.
Yeah.
You
Daigle,
need something.
Daigle.
Mine is authorhelp.net.
Ninthbooks.com spelled either way.
I don't even know my own website. It's actually ChristineDaigleBooks.com. So no one's gonna find that. Christine Daigle.
That's really funny.
I'm like, what's my website? I don't know.
Who am I?
I'm gonna go buy a domain right now. While
right now.
I'll show it
Yeah. Just do it while people are talking to you. That's what I do.
That's hysterical. All right, I'm gonna thank you all so much. I really appreciated this. I'm gonna hit stop and we can talk a little bit more.
Okay.